Hi, church. I just want to share with you a few thoughts around Nehemiah, the book of Nehemiah, the man of the wall rebuilding fame. And I just want to share a few simple thoughts. But what I want to do is to encourage you for yourselves to go and read the book of Nehemiah. It's not a big book to read, not a long book to read, but I believe he's a man of the moment, as it were. I think there's a lot of stuff in Nehemiah which I might come back to you guys with that really speaks into our current times and our current context. But it's just some thoughts from right at the start of the book of Nehemiah. In chapter 1, verse 4, when he hears about the plight of Jerusalem, his home place, his brothers come to see him, and he realizes the devastation that's gone on in there. This is what he says. He says, when I heard these words, in other words, about the state of Jerusalem, I sat down and wept. I mourned for a number of days, fasting and praying before the God of the heavens. So his initial reaction is one, it makes him sit down and he weeps and he fasts and he prays and he mourns for a number of days. That's all he does. And you might feel in these times that we're in at the moment that all you do sometimes, or all you're at the minute, is just weeping, a sense of heaviness or a mourning for our nation, for other nations, for the state of the world through what we're going in. And I want to say to you that it's okay to feel that. It's absolutely fine to feel that, because I believe that the start of those sort of feelings and just embracing that at the deepest part of you is what would spur you on to rebuilding, to other things, to better days, if you like. This was clearly Nehemiah's starting position, to feel a heaviness, a sadness about his hometown, about his place. And I just want to share with you, be really honest and say I felt a heaviness this week. Not far from where we live, you may be aware that a young boy was shot, an 18-year-old boy was shot, apparently by accident. Not long after that, there was a stabbing that happened in another part of Bury. And there's all sorts of things that are going on, even on my own doorstep. And it rocked me. I've got to say, it rocked me this week. And I had to get out of my house on my own one morning and just walk the streets and pray, and just pray for peace and pray for God to come and visit our streets in a real tangible way, and to visit his people, us, and mobilize us. And I was asking and praying, what is it that we can do? Apart from praying to you, Father, what can we do? And although I've not shed any tears at this moment in time, I know that internally I'm weeping and I'm mourning for our town, for the north of England, for the nation, from what we're going through, because there's a lot of anger that's out there. And I've been putting myself in the position of Nehemiah to think, what is my response in these particular moments? And I just want to, all I want to do today is just focus on what his initial reaction was. It might be for some of us, it might be for me, but one of the next things we need to do is we need to fast for our nation. If you read it for yourself, you'll see that the next thing that happens in the book is he prays really openly, and he confesses his sin and the sin of his fathers and the sin of the nation, and he takes some responsibility and asks for God to move and asks for God to act. So the other thing I want to do is I want to stir and encourage up the intercessor within all of us, the prayer within all of us, to come before God on behalf of our town, of our streets, our communities, our cities, and the nations. We need to be on our knees. We need to be weeping. We need to be mourning. We need to be fasting, and we need to be reflecting before God in advance of the situation changing, in advance of the walls being rebuilt. Walls around a city signified a dignity, if you like, a security to a city. A city without its walls was quite a shameful place. And there's probably some things going on around our town and our nation that are, quite frankly, are shameful, that we don't want to be associated with, and we don't want to be a part of us. So there is some metaphorical spiritual walls I believe God wants to rebuild, and he wants to involve you in that, and he wants to involve me in that. And it all starts by our initial posture of one being like Nehemiah. I want to encourage you that there's good things ahead. We're just enduring a difficult season that we need to get through with God, with one another, and particularly in prayer together as a people. Do be encouraged, do be strong, do lean on God. God bless.